Hi, so I'm following along with Paul McWhorter's AI for Everyone lessons. And on lesson 29, he showed how to combine media pipe and OpenCV with the Arduino. Um, as people have been following me for a while know that I've been working on a mobile AI platform based on a iRobot robot kit that I won in a contest a while back, and I've turned it into a mobile platform with a inexpensive mini PC box on it, and I'm running it headless and running it, controlling it and viewing it over the camera over remote desktop from Google. So yeah, I'll link to my other videos about that in the description to this one. But anyhow, Paul was showing how he did that, and I been working along with him for most of the stuff, but this was some from everything that he's taught me. I was able to take it a step farther with my mobile robot. So what I want to show today is kind of using the color tracking. If you remember back in lesson 14, I think it was, we were doing color where we could subtract out and track a color. I think I have a program up here where we're doing that. It was lesson 14, and I did several iterations of that, and one of them was to use the mouse click to determine, what color we wanted to be tracking. So maybe we can show that working. So in this one, we got the where we're able to have something different color than what we got. So I got a dark pink ball here, and wherever you click on it is what it kind of just creates what they call a minimum enclosing circle of the color. So that, and it kind of just follows it along the screen. So when you get this, you get a center point of that dot. So I'm kind of using that with my robot and my pan and tilt camera to have the robot sort of follow a color, a ball around. So we'll get out of this one. All right. And let's see what we got. We'll bring back our cam maybe. All right, we brought back our cam. All right, so like I said, we're actually using my remote access. So here's my robot taking a picture of my backside, and it's sitting over there on the floor actually. So so it's actually there's a ball up here on the counter that is kind of tilting towards. Let me move this out of the way for a second. So this is our manual thing, so we can move our camera up and down. That's controlled with an Arduino that's on board. And then we'll go back to manual, and I should be able to move it. Yeah, there we go. I can move it. All right. And this is the robot has its own controller that is controlled via USB. So we can spin the robot manually. So anyhow, but my previous videos, you can go back to see how I do some hands and stuff like that with it. By the way, I'm in my public library where I do my volunteering. I'm in between sessions. We're doing a tech showcase today, and We had a few people show up for the early lesson this morning and have another one scheduled for later this afternoon after the kids get off school, and trying to get a post-COVID group of young people interested in tech. So that's why I'm in a different room than I'm normally in. This is meeting room at the library. All right, so this is a new one that I didn't have last time on my video. So I have a little menu where we're just doing tracking, and we can this is a radio button, so only one of those is on at a time. So we can track it in place. That means similar to lesson 14, where it just puts a circle around it and follows it around the screen, and not follows it, but it comes around the screen. Then we have where we can use just the pan and tilt of the camera to follow it. And then we have another one where we do the tilting with the camera, but the panning part side to side is the robot actually spins to do that. And then we have this last one down here, which is track and find. And it also moves towards it until the ball gets to about a quarter of the size of the screen, and then it'll just sit there and wait for you to move. I thought about playing a tune or something. This robot will also play some beeping sounds, like a vacuum robot makes noises. So, but I haven't got around to that yet. But we can try the track and play. So before we do that, we got this color thing. I have some hard-coded colors in here, but under the lights in the library, they work well at home, but when I brought it into the library, the fluorescent lights up here, they give it a different color, and it doesn't track well. But it does, we can still do the one click where we can do it. So let's put this out there and see if we can get it. Oh, we got to turn it. Well, we clicked it, but now we can track it in place. Oh, it sees the wrong one. So let's try it. There it goes. So we got that other ball in the back that we'll be using a little later, but this is this one, smaller ball. And it's just not doing any tracking. It's just keeping a circle around it. So here's the pan and tilt of the camera. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to see the pan and tilt on the camera when you're doing it. Maybe you can see it tilting and panning back there. It works fairly well. So then we can do the switch down and track with the robot, but the pan and the tilt will be the same. So now when we go side to side, actually, I don't know where you can see it, but the robot actually is moving. Yeah, I think you can see it a little bit in there. All right. So I'm going to turn it off for a second. So that last thing, track, find, and approach, that's kind of cool. So I got a little bit bigger ball so I can see it farther away. So let's just track in place first. The pinks are fairly close, but we're going to update the color anyhow, I think, just to make it sure. Yeah, a little bit better. All right. So the cool thing about that is the track, find, and approach. It doesn't even have to be on the screen. Once it knows it's the color, I got an algorithm in there where the robot, if it doesn't see the color, it puts the camera tilt down about ground level and just spins in place until it sees it. And once it sees it, it centers it and finds it, and kind of just rolls after it. So like a dog with a toy or a bone or something. So we'll go ahead and do that. So it's kind of smart. It kind of, when it rolls off the screen in one direction, it knows what direction it went off the screen at, and it'll spin in that direction. If it goes the other way, it spins in the other direction. Of course, if it starts out where it doesn't know which way it went or something, I think I just got it to randomly go clockwise first or something, but it'll spin around and do that. So kind of fun. I got it working right now. She's, like I said, got the robot, got it centered and about quarter the size of the screen there, or whatever the width of the screen, I think is the way I got it set up. And anyhow, not going to do the code in this one. The code is, I'm up to about 500 lines of code in here with the GUI and everything, all the different open CV stuff. Like I say, let's see, we can go ahead and quit out of this. You can see, let's see, we got a bunch of lines of code here. This is mainly a demonstration video, but like I said, 225 lines of code here, and then we got the CV help library that we depend on, and it's got right around 205 lines. So between the two, we got 430 lines of code, so that's not too bad. Anyhow, I just thought I'd show that off. Like I said, too long to explain the code, but just want to let Paul know that I've taken his teachings and taken it to the next level. Anyhow, thanks for listening.